So let's go ahead, jump on into game number one. T-Carell rolled is in shock out of the blue side of your spectator UI. And they're going to be going up against Mist, Turbo Pulsa, and EnVy's Atomic. And EnVy, like I said, man, this has been one of the stronger, more consistent teams in the league. Full stop. Turbo Pulsa with his first attempt of the game off the mark. Atomic can't make it happen either, but Mist can.
EnVy is almost inevitable when it comes to quick decision-making and creating different looks. These small chips that just bring the defense out of the goal line. It's easy to read. It's hard to react to. And once more, EnVy are finding easy ways to score early. And when they score early and often, FDOT, we know how dangerous that can be for just the telltale sign of a series.
Absolutely. The Sonics, we were talking about having trouble on the teamwork side of the rubric. And, well, that's exactly how Mist and the boys get their job done early on here. In the first minute or so, Turbo Pulsa babysitting the ball and then gives it a nudge. Will be blocked. T-Carell blocks this time again, but follows up. Takes a shot on goal, sets up Shock, but Atomic is there to deter and detour the ball. Turbo Pulsa one more time finds himself left wing, heading towards mid, and T-Carell steals it away.
I'd really love to see Sonics kind of, it would be great to be able to sit in their comms and listen to how they're approaching this game and this series in general, but I would love for them to stay aggressive on the field, to continue to challenge EnVy through the corners, right up in the offensive third, and right when they get to the midfield line. If Sonics can take the ball away, you reduce the amount of pressure that not only EnVy can mount, but EnVy like to get chip shots, and they like to slow the ball down in the air and then follow through with a powerful hit, reeling up the velocity as they go. I want to see Sonics stay aggressive and maintain the ball and eyes on the field, keeping everyone in front of them.
I want to see the Sonics play a little bit more defensively, which kind of doesn't it doesn't disagree with what you're saying.
Sure.
Nice save there from T-Carell. But it's the other side, because we just haven't seen follow-up and fallback. The double F has given our team the F+, unfortunately. So I've already seen more defensive mindset here. Players are staying back, and that's a positive in my eyes, because that's, in my opinion, why we've seen the Sonics lose today. Has been not bad defense, quick quotes, but lack of constructive defense. If that makes any sense, as Shock sends one, but no follow-up, so no goal.
Uh-oh, that one might be dangerous, though. Great demo from T-Carell just to buy the transitional offense sometime. You do have a power play, but back to full strength, and Atomic with no boost out of the equation. Turbo is so perfect, and Turbo leaves it, but Mist got the touch at the end. Primary assist. Sorry, man, you got 4 World Championships. Let someone else score for once.
I mean, he goes for it. It's going to be Turbo's up and down. Mist gets the last hit. Oh, well. Team game. 2:21 on the clock here. 2 goals above none on the EnVy here. Turbo whiffs. That's a strikeout. Oh my goodness, looking like Adam Dunn. Atomic here going to push it forward as well. And I guess when you have a 2-goal lead, you can kind of whiff like that, but
sure,
certainly not something they were rooting for, as the ball gets a little uncontrolled in the midfield.
2016 Chris Davis has all of a sudden appeared on the field. But kind of hearkening back to what you talked about earlier with the defense from Sonics, just playing defense but not constructive. It very much was a team effort to play the defense, but individually we need a little bit more flair. We needed to see them get more creative, because you can play defense and then you can play defense. There are ways to change up the looks and ways to just be more effective on that end of the field, so you can get those booming clears, those long challenges. Right now, Sonics are at the will of EnVy. They are doing their best to hold on, but there has been no counterattack that they've been able to score with.
One of the big things that we see EnVy doing that Sonics aren't doing on defense there is going for the challenges, which we've seen a couple of misses from the Sonics, so perhaps they're opting intentionally to kind of play back on the cutoff man, so to speak, because they're missing the challenges. EnVy, on the other hand, are going up for these challenges almost every time, and then are able to kind of take the ball away in transition later on. Turbo Pulsa messed with in the middle and missed going to be taken out here. A good opportunity for the Sonics, but the ball in the other direction. And so despite the demo, despite the pass, the Sonics wind up with another empty opportunity. And Turbo doesn't have the angle. Missed. Doesn't either. As Rolled Is snatches it away.
There are many times in Rocket League games where a team will find a quick lead, whether it's 1-0, 2-0, but most of the time, with this frame of reference, we're talking about large leads, 2 goals, 3 goals, 4 goals to nothing. We've had about 4 minutes now where Sonics have not been able to orchestrate anything, and that tells me that Sonics are reading the field, but they're not reading EnVy. They're not able to break down the EnVy approach, and EnVy's personality is just overwhelming offense and very methodical defense on counterattacks. Sonics have not been able to find any room to wiggle. And while they might be challenging the ball on the point of contact and getting these small progressions downfield that kind of strand out to nothing, they have not been able to break down EnVy. And you have to be able to do both against a veteran team like EnVy, and right now they just aren't.
Ball going to land at some point. And there it is. EnVy, win game number 1. You know, even if we keep the ball up there forever and it winds up as a Sonics goal, they still lose. Anyway, Team EnVy taking it 2-0 to the hole and then some. I mean, this is a nice look for EnVy, but more importantly, Spaceman, the Sonics, they got beat, but I don't think they got beat down. You know, 2 goals, one of which was a little bit rough, but you know, this is a game where, like I said, I see a little bit more constructive play from the Sonics as opposed to their previous couple of sets where it just kind of looked like they were out there just sort of playing Rocket League.
Yeah, they are trading blows with quotations to EnVy when it comes to the defensive line. And, you know, outside those 2 goals, very structured. EnVy is currently humming on a specific frequency, and Sonics are matching the frequency. But again, EnVy can change how quick that frequency changes, the resonance pattern. They find different ways to disrupt the normal ebb and flow and the cadence of the game. And we're waiting for Sonics to not only match the frequency of EnVy, but go above that, play better than normal. That's what it's going to take to beat this team. And right now, you're just basically playing square one Rocket League.
T. Carell shoves one towards the net. No real power or finesse behind it. So it will count technically as a shot, but not a real opportunity in my book there for the Sonics. This one a little bit better as they push the ball forward. Shock's there, but Turbo smacks it on out. And a clear. The Sonics really just can't seem to get their cleats in the dirt.
And EnVy are more than happy to play boomball at this moment. I mean, welcome to badminton. Great pass to Mist, and an even better save from Rolled Is. Doesn't bait on the challenge, instead falls back to the opposite corner, dives and dashes in the way, gets the clear. Now counterattack as Shock follows through, but Atomic easily takes it away and doesn't burn much boost either. I mean, it's these simple reads that Sonics have to be banging their head against a wall saying we have chances on the counterattacks, we have chances when we're running point. T. Carell trying to dunk his way down. Oh, please, thank you, Lord. Finally, Sonics find something.
Follow-up is what I've been saying time and time again. T. Carell goes for it. Shock is there with the follow-up, and T. Carell stays with the play. That's the biggest thing for me, Sean, is the fact that these guys stay with the play. We wouldn't have seen that in their set against Shopify Rebellion. They just weren't playing that, I like what you said, on that frequency. But now they're humming, and all of a sudden, I'm hearing the harmonics as Shot takes another shot. T. Carell there, but won't be able to find it. And Rolled Is, can he stop Mist?
And it's very telling of how the mistakes against Rogue, when Sonics were playing them, it was isolated hits on offense one at a time. But now, and what worked out in that series as well, it's these, like you said, follow-up shots, those extensions, those second opportunities, the offensive rebounds. That is what works for Sonics. They just haven't been able to get any of that in their series so far today. When they finally do, it works out in a goal. And for EnVy, not pressured, not frustrated, taking their time, trying to develop the offense at midfield. I want to see Sonics continue to put the pressure down and don't let EnVy get comfortable anywhere near in the blue half.
Halftime for the game. Right now, Rolled is able to step up. Get it out of his half. No. Orange refuse. Shock trying to step up. Get it out of his half. And he just might. Atomic with a defensive stop, but not much to write home about. Now on the transition, Shock gets there first.
Couple of demos now. The physicality picking up for Soniqs once more. Atomic clears lane. Great shot from Turbo. And that's the danger, is even when you think you've caught EnVy on a slow rotation or a pull-up back into the play, Turbo was ready and waiting at midfield. He bid his time, 5 seconds, and then he moves in quickly on the jump. It's stuff like that that make EnVy dangerous. You've met their frequency all game. Soniqs have played this correctly, but EnVy very quickly just pull up for a shot, and Turbo is always in a position to score.
5 minutes in a game. Absolutely. Can't pull out your laurels early on. So, right now tied at 1, and the Soniqs trying to make that the big picture score as well. T-Corral with a nice carry, top of the crop, and following up, it's Shock. 1:30 to go, and SQ take the lead.
Waste no time, and T-Corral just kind of centers it on the offensive rebound. Shock crosses in the lane and finishes the job. That is the teamwork Soniqs have been looking for the past couple of matches here today. And what a time for it to finally start clicking. 2 goals to 1. EnVy now need to tie, but Soniqs have completely changed the way this series might be played.
Both of the Soniqs goals come off of what they were not able to put together earlier on. That has to be the positive. Even if this winds up going to, even if this isn't a dub, that's got to be the takeaway here from the Soniqs perspective, is the fact that you have sort of put together what hasn't been working out earlier on. Beautiful setup and a better save. T-Corral stands up and puts them down. Ball back midfield. Less than a minute to go, Sean. And a flip reset from Miss will be defended here in the corner.
Got to look out for those chip passes. Atomic is overextended and biding his time in the corners. He's looking for Turbo. He's looking for Mist. And to catch Soniqs rotating in awkwardly. Small touches like that. Once more, Atomic, same spot, no boost. Mist gets demoed, and now Soniqs need a clear. They're not getting it, though. Finally, here comes T-Corral, and the rest of the cavalry will move upfield. 22 seconds to go, F. EnVy need a goal.
Good look for the teal. Trying to push it forward and keep this out of their half. Turbo Pulsa has different plans as the baseball pass gets put down. Atomic still here. Rolled is trying to make this game his own. But Turbo Pulsa passes up top and going to keep it there. Atomic can't and won't. And the Soniqs tie the series 1-1.
There was a play at the very end where Turbo was overextended down the field and was up to meet the pass. And he just put it completely off target. That very well could have been a tie game. And he was the cutoff man down the field. Instead, he threw to first and he needed to throw home. He did not get anywhere close to the play. And that is a small mistake that EnVy will probably look back on and just say, fundamentals, we can't make that bad call. Now we go to game 3, and looking at just the replays of this matchup, I mean, Soniqs, again, the teamwork is perfect. Not a lot of infield passing, F. That's more of EnVy's strat. But for Soniqs, just one after another, follow-up hits, but don't delay the hit. Don't come in too late on your rotation. Get aggressive, stay on the ball, keep it in front of you. T-Corral there for the opening goal was perfect to circle through the net. And then once more, T-Corral setting up for a teammate, a Shock finished for the 2-1 lead. That is what Soniqs need to do if they want to be successful in this series.
Normally I don't say what's going on inside the in-game chat, but Spaceman's getting roasted by Turbo Pulsa, and I love it. Please ready up so we can continue the series, my friend.
I can put that off my resume. I got roasted by Turbo. Life is good.
I do love Turbo Pulsa. And the fans love Turbo Pulsa. As EnVy tries to grab win number 2, so does Susquehanna here. And a nice turnaround. We mentioned it numerous times why the Soniqs were so much nicer looking there in game number 2. They kind of have had some issues dangerously in front of their net throughout the past couple of series. Always finding one flavor or another, but not really combining it enough to put together the dish. This last one, it tasted all right. Seems like the boys kind of got their things together, and now we might just have a series. You know, it's a best of 3, Spaceman. EnVy won the first one. You know what happens if Susquehanna win the next 2?
I do. It's been quite some time. It's been 84 years since I saw the last one. It'd be so nice. It would be so nice, but one can only hope. And I love just kind of how you broke that down, right? Like the changes in the palette have certainly played a factor for Soniqs. I mean, you're no longer just cooking ramen packets. You're starting saying, oh, wait a minute. Wait, I can move the dish around. I can add some spice. Yeah, sometimes you need to change it up. Sometimes you got to play defense. Oh, God, get it out. T. Carell will clear it to the corner. And this one's looking dangerous to start.
Tough break here in the middle. It's an all-out scrum. A mosh pit. Missed. Sends one. And Turbo sends a slower one. T. Carell gets in front of it. Nice job there on defense as Shock will deny this opportunity. And Mist has an angle, but it's too much of an angle. Atomic also too much of an angle. Wide right both times.
I want to know who brought the Rocket League ball down and zapped the power out of Atomic and Mist and Turbo. What happened? At first, Turbo misses a chance to tie the game in game 2. Atomic just whiffs on an open net. Which Monstars and where are they?
T. Carell passed one, but not the other. Roldiz can't get up to defend the midfield. Slowly, we find ourselves on the blue half, but Atomic doesn't have control. It's Roldiz with a little bit of mist in between. And one more time, we find ourselves in this midfield mosh pit. It's ultimately EnVy. No, it's not. The ball's still booming back and forth here, Spaceman. So, looking for either team to kind of grab on and push forward, that's been the big difference for me looking at this game has been nobody's really gotten to have their say, so to speak. It's been reactionary Rocket League on both sides of the field, which might be why we're scoreless after 3 minutes.
1,000,000,000%. And normally this is a situation where I would say EnVy are in a good spot because they can play boom ball all day long. It's how they change the way they play on a dime that breaks teams down. Soniqs are actually playing this quite well. Soniqs are continuing to press the issue on the challenges, and they've matched the level of speed at midfield that EnVy was bringing, and they're not wasting time on defense. They're quickly clearing the ball downfield. They're quickly finding challenges and counterattacks, and now Roldiz is going to put it towards the backboard. Roldiz double tap. Anyone else there from Soniqs? Here comes T. Carell, and Mist will get the save, but Soniqs are putting their offense here for a chance. The dunk won't work. Soniqs, though, they are in a good position to score.
T. Carell keeping it that way. Shot going to go up off the pass to T. Carell. It's slow. Not quite steady. Nobody's winning the race just yet. We're tied with 1:11 to go. Make a wish. T. Carell wishing for a midfield teammate. Shock downfield. We'll turn it one more time. Pushing towards the net. Turbo Pulsa gets there first. The solo play, uneventful, unexciting, and unsuccessful. And now it's EnVy's turn up to bat.
We've seen pretty distinct offense from both sides. EnVy have not been able to capitalize on the chip shots and passes. A couple of times they've gone for it. They've been off target. Soniqs, on the other end, are looking for those extra touches between one another. Not a lot of infield passing here, F-Dot. It's very much been backboard ball. And just booming clears downfield. Here comes Atomic with the cutoff. Turbo to challenge and read. But you got about 30 seconds now. This is where you really need to clamp up on defense and make sure you hold the line for both sides. I really have no idea how this game will go, but Turbo, got to be careful. That still works out somehow.
Give them the clamps. That's the idea here. Chop them down. Try and make it happen. I don't think we're going to get there without overtime. Although with that boom, we open up the world one more time. Turbo pops up high. Atomic looking to ground, and Mist will do it. Overtime! And one more kickoff here. Game number 3. And it starts off on the EnVy half, but it starts off with EnVy possession. Roldiz disrupts. And the ball all by itself on the blue side.
It's got to be careful now. You don't want to get a chip clear where it just hangs in the air for no one. Soniqs had a couple of those in this game, but started off in the overtime a little bit dangerous as Turbo in the carry now. A chance to atomic pass. Backboard looking for the 1-2-3, but missed out of the play, and Roldiz will bring it down to the ground, so we follow down with him, trying to extend, but that leaves way to Shock. Plenty of boost now. Can he extend? Yes, double tap. Anyone else there from Soniqs? Not quite, and EnVy will hold on.
Almost a minute of extra Rocket League here. Turbo Pulsa tries to make a play for the right-hand side, but the demo from T. Carell prevents Mist from capitalizing off of the would-be pass. A beautiful off-ball play there, protecting the game one more time. Still scoreless after 6 minutes of play and counting. Shock puts it up, tries to work it himself. The other teammates lost somewhere. Roldiz again from the right-hand side. Shock is mid, but nothing doing. Just a whole lot of slap fighting here on this side of the court.
Roldiz once more down. And my criticisms of Soniqs were they were reading the field, but they weren't reading EnVy. Right now, they're doing both. They are meeting EnVy. They are challenging EnVy. They are matching the frequency of EnVy. They have played this Game 3 about as well as any team could. They just need that final nail in the coffin. That might be it. Shock. Double tap on target. It bounces around and hits the post. Turbo going to escape downfield. A chance for EnVy on the counterattack. One flip up to Mist. Backboard. T. Carell with the clear.
Oh, man. Shock is going to be running. It's up top. Too high for T. Carell, and Roldiz unable to get there either. Atomic misses the double tap on the transition play. And so it's Shock one more time. Full sending it. Roldiz meets the boom right in the middle. Shock disrupted by Mist. Roldiz surrounded by EnVy jerseys, and it's Turbo pushing it to the other side. T. Carell slows it down. And we'll have an offensive reset.
I don't know if I agree with that play from T. Carell to flip the ball. I was looking for him to hold possession and possibly just try to work a 1v1 upfield. Now you play through the corner. There's a demo. That's going to be it. Roldiz will punch it in.
Beautiful play by Roldiz, waiting in his spot, shows up on the left wing, does exactly what he needs to do to get this one done. Rodman in the avatar, Jordan in the lifestyle. Soniqs here, one away from taking the series against the machine.
And the patience throughout the entire overtime to bide your spot, get players in position, and know when to make the call that we're going to attempt a shot. Getting the demo from T. Carell, who not only is he facilitating to his teammates in prior games, but look at how he was able just to move right into the goal line, take out a couple of players, and put his body in position to also block the cross in. Another player from EnVy was coming in for the challenge, and T. Carell was there just in case. I mean, that was perfect from Roldiz. And Soniqs, the best performance they've had all day came on that map.
The communication, the camaraderie. I mentioned before how in the earlier series, it looked like Susquehanna were doing one thing right and a bunch of things wrong, and then the next game they'd do something different right and the other stuff wrong. Everything's sort of coming together. Not all cylinders are punching. We've got a team here. Thus, we've got a contest as the Soniqs up against EnVy. Put it this way, I'm not sure a lot of people put their points on the Soniqs, but the Soniqs certainly did, and that sort of composure, that sort of confidence, I think, it is a big deal coming into a matchup like this.
Yep, calm, cool, collected all the way down the stretch. And for a team like Soniqs, who, you know, Stacks and I were having this conversation just a couple of minutes ago in the earlier part of today, where we wonder what Soniqs would look like, what they would be like if Roldiz was their starting third and they had kept this roster throughout the entirety of the season. How would they fare? I think they do pretty well. I honestly do. And there's so much room to improve, but Raul has been an absolute improvement. The IGL he brings, the communication he can help with. And right now, Soniqs are up 2-1 against EnVy. A series that I did not expect to play out the way it has. And they're on the verge of beating EnVy 3-1 in dominant fashion.
This game silent. But on both sides, and if you're rooting for the Sonics, that's a good thing, because EnVy are the top card. They are expected to come out and, honestly, make game one happen. Mist sends a nice shot, perhaps the first nice shot of the entire game. And it's correctly defended by the blue team. But that's the other question there, Spaceman, is I'm giving the Sonics all their flowers, please. Let them celebrate the good stuff. That one a little bit too high. Follow up from Roll Diz to T. Carell. Back to Roll Diz. The give and go. A beautiful play, frankly, out of nowhere. And Roll Diz puts his team up 1-0.
That was perfect equilateral offense. The triangle, man, like it's just a 1-2-3. And you talk about not leaving off on the play, and again, the communication, right? I'm giving it to you, you're giving it to me. We're going to move into the lane and keep committing on the ball. Fill the lane. Sonics, well done, but Atomic, a little bit better.
Low latency response, that's the most important thing. Mist comes here and just dishes, this is a, I want to say a standard play as you come off the wall, flip, reset, and sure. But this is a nice look there from EnVy as, like I said, the low latency response is the big deal. How quickly they were able to score that one was important. No! A Roll disaster as he just barely goes above this shot from Atomic. Half a game to go, and the Sonics lose the lead.
Roldiz missed the roll, but Atomic puts it perfectly where even if Roldiz gets that save, there's one of two things are going to happen. The ball is going to kill itself on the ground and just stop dead, or it's going to get kicked to the corner where I believe Turbo was already rotating. EnVy were in a position to score regardless, and it's scary how quickly EnVy can just decide to score. They were down a goal. It looked great for Sonics. Then you get one immediately, and Atomic closes the deal. 2 minutes to go, plenty of time, but you have worked so hard. Sonics have worked so hard in these past two games to finally find some rhythm.
I'm not all, to quote an old homie, I'm not all doom and gloom right now. Like, there's a world here.
Sure.
Where those two goals, I do not mind. I mind when that one goes. Atomic wants a game 5, not willing to let it go in just 4. And these are the plays that confirm the contest. Atomic looked good playing around Roll Diz before. This time, he does it all by himself and puts it 3-1.
The personality of EnVy is never going to be subdued for long. We might be going to game 5. It is so... unreal. It's unreal how quickly games can turn on their head, how things can just change. And of course, we couldn't have a Spaceman sweep. We never can. Spring has been brutal.
Well, but listen, 90 seconds, 2 goals. All right?
It's entirely doable. It's entirely doable. But for Sonics, there has to be a complete 180 from the last minute or so. They have allowed EnVy so much room to move and breathe up the field. The aggressiveness from Sonics hasn't been there. They're getting bumped now. They're getting pushed out of the play. They're not getting great clears. Finally, Roll Diz escapes. He might move downfield with it. No boost. Bad touch. Shock all the way in the back line. Not a lot of numbers here for Sonics.
Well, Shock's going to take another shot. Roll Diz here. The ball's slow, and so unlikely to wind up a positive for the Sonics. Atomic sends one above the defender, and Shock gets an axle on it. So it stays a 2-goal game. This one past the defender, but we won't talk about it since the crossbar stopped it. 40 seconds to go. Roll Diz with an angle. Past 1, past 2, but it's too high. That one won't be going. And they've got half a minute.
And what EnVy's doing now is while they're getting bumped in net, they're just popping the ball up. They're keeping it out of the hands of Sonics because Sonics are not great at finding one another or extending multiple times down the field. So while Shock is running point, Atomic's just looking to take the ball away. That's all they're playing for. Hold possession, and if we can't hold possession, just pop it up. Make Sonics burn boost and burn time. They did it perfectly. We got Champions Field coming up right after this.
Sonics have played the end of this game the way that they have played their previous games.
Yeah.
And that's panicked. I think that at the end of the day, this Sonics team looks great when they're able to maintain composure, keep themselves calm, joke around a little bit maybe. I've never been in comms, I'm just guessing, and play their game.
Yep.
When the enemy kind of grabs them by the gruff and puts them against the locker, that's when the Sonics kind of fold inside of themselves and get locked up. And that's what I'm seeing here in juxtaposition to games 2 and 3. The inability to be confident in themselves. And there's got to be some sort of tangible, feel better about yourself, forehead, is terrible advice. But there's got to be a tangible way Sonics can turn this around.
It's all confidence. There's reasons sometimes you see players missing the ball and kind of getting these slumps where they're not able to keep up with the pace. It's like a batter who just isn't confident at the plate. He's going to make bad decisions and strike out. Sonics need that confidence back, and yes, it is bad advice, but it's the only advice you can give. You need to reestablish the confidence in the comms, and that is where Roldiz can be the X factor. He is a veteran. He knows how to speak to these players. He can really get them to calm down, focus on the game, focus on the fundamentals, and try to get everyone back on the same page.
Game 5. We are starting this one off with a bang. Sonics haven't scored, but they've certainly kept possession on the other side for nearly half a minute. So that they really, you said it before, they've had some trouble kind of stringing their teammates and things together. So this extended possession is actually a big positive if you're rooting for the Sonics, simply because we haven't seen it much.
Yep. You can let EnVy get upfield, just don't let them stay upfield. Sonics doing a great job in the start of this Game 5 to just continually punch the ball right back into EnVy's face and make sure that they don't build any offense or any rhythm in the offensive third. Roldiz breakaway, chance off target. Anyone else there? A moment for Sonics, but this one hangs. Is anyone going to come in and clear it? Will. There needs to be more urgency for Sonics. They're getting absolutely confused on the pitch, and you can't play like this on Champions Field.
Completely agree. Urgency is a fantastic word for it. Atomic here setting himself up. Can't get the angle. Now Roldiz disrupted by Turbo Pulsa. He'll put one up top. Missed, waiting for the drop down. Shock there as well. And so in traffic, everybody jammed up. Atomic here. No, it's Shock. And the ball stuck. Left-hand side. Missed, succeeds in the demo. Passes to Turbo Pulsa. Right past Shock. And Shock gets jammed up there. It's 1-0, the machine.
You knew it was going in right when Atomic keeps the ball alive, something he does so often. Mist comes in, says, don't worry, I know where Turbo is. The feed, the shot, Turbo is not going to miss. And what he does is he puts the ball in such difficult placement. The only way you clear that out and save it is if you pinch it off the crossbar. Sonics are not that good on defense, and Turbo is better. And Turbo, this is his field. You better start respecting it.
2 for Turbo. Another beautiful dish into a beautiful meal. Turbo, he's eating right now. 2 above 0 as EnVy look to take this one in 5. That said, 3 minutes on the clock. Plenty of time for Susquehanna to fight on back into it. But they got to do it soon. Shock passes one, but Turbo passes across the field. It won't be EnVy possession. I'm not quite sure it's the Sonics either. A couple of slovenly shots positioned in the general direction of the net. But I'm going to come back to that word, Spaceman. No urgency, no agency, no fervor behind these shots, these plays. Again, Roldiz, just not enough power.
They're waiting for the look. They're not creating the look or taking the look. They are letting EnVy pop the ball up, and then they're deciding, okay, who goes for the hit? EnVy are dictating the defensive half right now, even though they aren't clearing it away. What have Sonics mounted? What have they gained here? They have lost the possession. They're losing the transition. Right now, they have no handle on the ball. There's a demo, and they need to clear this away, and they need to be more decisive. The dimensions of their offense are very thin. And Atomic is just finding ways to create problems. Finally, T-Corell will get it out. What does he do with it? Well, Jukes one. T-Corell to Mist all the way through. Oh, T-Corell cuts the lead in half.
beautiful. This was nice to watch. T. Corral, I love looking at you breaking ankles, breaking axles. I do want to highlight that ball's going, what, 2 miles an hour? That's been the issue for the Sonics this entire time. Lack of power. So, if you can't find that sort of power, if you can't find your teammates, finesse in the 1v3. Sure. However you need, make those buckets. T. Corral does that, adjusting to the team's sort of inconsistencies here, Spaceman. Oh no, missed. Sets himself up, but the angle is bad. And with just over a minute to go, the Sonics are right back in it.
I need to see someone orchestrate the offense for Sonics. If you want a chance to bring this game back, there has to be an IGL. Now it might be. T. Corral almost had the redirect of the series. As Shock will bring it to the corner, Roll Diz extends. Roll Diz needs a center, but guess what? EnVy is there, and Atomic is so good at fighting individual battles one-on-one. He makes it difficult. T. Corral down, pinch! T. Corral! That is the best goal of the series!
It really was. T. Corral with a capital T comes on through. And the first goal, a little bit of finesse, breaking some ankles. The second one, that was just pure force of will. We're talking discard a blue. Easy play there. A nice look. And folks, we've got a tie game with 38 to go.
Will it last? Shock there. Shock. Redirect. Shock there. It's Roll Diz. 3-2 for Sonics. And as quickly as we asked them to be urgent, EnVy now down a goal, and Sonics have completely responded.
Making him dizzy. Making him dizzy. We talked about the low latency response from EnVy on the other side. Usually, that's an Atomic thing. You get scored on at a bad moment, Atomic right on back. This time around, T. Corral makes it happen, and then Roll Diz with the 1-2 punch. 20 seconds away from EnVy being upset here by the Susquehanna Soniqs. Atomic dishes it to miss. T. Corral gets in front. Shock pops it up. 10 seconds remaining. One goal separating our teams. Atomic pushing it. And the countdown from 3. Turbo Pulsa chip shots to miss. The shot on goal is disrupted by T. Corral. The ball is grounded, and Susquehanna Soniqs take the series.
I don't know how in the world Sonics just pulled that off. The urgency kicked in. The decision-making kicked in. They started to find one another. And just when we were asking for someone to step up and orchestrate the offense to dictate the flow of traffic, moving right into the goal line for EnVy, you start finding one another. You start finding the pinches on the backboard. You start finding those extra touches. EnVy were not able to clear the ball away. And Sonics just... they just stun them. They just absolutely stun them. It wasn't... I mean, outside of T. Corral's goal to tie the game, and outside of the go-ahead, I mean, the goals weren't anything that baited EnVy out of the box. They weren't anything that broke down the defense. They showed you exactly what they're about to do, and T. Corral to bring it 3-2 with the best goal in the series. I mean, of all the times for that to happen, but yeah, FDOT, it was just... I mean, Sonics just said, here's what we're going to do, and EnVy just looked absolutely stunned.
Well, that was a big thing for me, was that, you know, coming into game number 1, EnVy played EnVy ball. And what we expected to happen in this series happened in game number 1. Welcome back, FDOT and Spaceman. And we saw that in game 1. And the Sonics had some moments earlier today where we kind of like put things together. But as the series rolled on, we saw that come together. And the problem was that EnVy in game 5 were pushing forward. And a lot of what we've seen out of this Sonics team has not been that individual kind of clutch factor that, right? We see good Rocket League. Sometimes they aren't talking, but we don't see that next level stuff. Today, T. Corral stood for 2 clutch. This man actually did what the Sonics have had trouble doing, is making it past that point. They get to game 5, and then the other team goes, oh, we fixed it. This time around, the Sonics do it. Real fun stuff to watch here, Space.
Yeah, Sonics are not a team that can survive on individual plays alone. They work best when they're working together. That is one of the reasons why they were so successful when they were making deep tournament runs, right? Like in the start of the spring, I believe back in winter as well. Like they are good together, but when they're apart and they're playing individually, they are one of the teams that struggles the most with confidence on the field. And you can see it. Finally, the teamwork actually works. And FDOT, it's a good time for Sonics, but they have to continue to work on that teamwork going forward if they want to make a deep run this weekend.
That's the idea. Ain't nothing sus about Susquehanna here. Fantastic win. They take down EnVy in 5. The show goes on. We've got Space Station Gaming versus FaZe Clan. You don't want to miss it. That's it from me. We will catch you after the break.